I apologize. Saying we never found one. What would that historic? And they would criminalize it to a certain degree. They always had this thing about us. There was a sister down in New Orleans, Marie Laveau. Very famous. They were scared of that woman. They were terrified of Marie Laveau because she was putting bammies on their ass. She was putting hexes and shit on white people down there. So they didn't mess with her. They even gave her money annually so she wouldn't put a whammy bammy on their ass. But they've always had this thing about us using some type of mental power on them. That whole, the Jezebel enchantress stereotype. There was a black woman in the early 1900s named Hannah Elias, and many of you heard me talk about her. This woman, she was like one of the first black women millionaires before Madam C.J. Walker. Hannah Elias was getting money out of white dudes. She was getting white dudes to just clean their bank accounts out for her ass. She was a black woman living in New York on Park Avenue. Had a mansion, had Asian servants and shit. She was one of the people actually who made Harlem black. She bought some real estate and she was working with some black real estate developers. And she and that real estate developer, they were the ones who got them white folks up out of Harlem and started getting the black folks in. It was Hannah Elias. She was a hustler. A lot of folks don't like to talk about her in history, but it was a very sensational case at the time. And this woman was sitting on millions of dollars in the early 1900s. And in the court, when they took her to court, because they were like, she's finessing, because the family of some of the white men she was getting money from, they were like, hey, man, we got to do something. They were like, shit, this woman, she's practicing voodoo. She's a voodoo priestess. She's an enchantress. They were using all of those words. They were like, yeah, she didn't use some of that Negro mind spirituality on our father. They're like, no, we can't really prove that. So she got to keep her bread. But that whole thing, that's why white women don't like a fly black woman around. That's another thing, because they think real attractive black women got them powers. They got enchantress powers. That's why white women love a big old mammy around. They love a big back, buttermilk eating mammy around. They don't want no fly one around. They're like, oh, she's going to use her body and her mind on these white men, which they do in a certain degree. But yeah, even with Sally Heming, she was a victim of Thomas Jefferson, but in some of the historical narratives, they were like she was on some bewitched enchantress type of thing. She seduced Thomas Jefferson, that whole thing. So yeah, there's that fear of the sexual alluring black body. There's always been this anxiety about supernatural sexual power of black people. That's why they always think about our dicks and genitals all the time. They sit up with the white supremacists sitting up worrying about our penises all the time. And black women's asses. They sit up and just obsess over that, even now. You see? See, when black people were desired and admired, it was never seen as agency on the part of the non-black person. It was always a mind control. It was always a lust spell. It was voodoo sex. And also, we have the root workers, and the white supremacists were always afraid of the root workers because they knew how to tap into the energy of the earth and the plants and nature. And uh, it, that created a fear and a mythology around black people having dark, mystical powers, especially over non-black people or non-foundational black American people. And the thing is, because foundational black Americans, we are so influential, they had to start criminalizing our black influence through supernatural claims. So anytime a black person had power or success that couldn't be logically explained, if we had wealth, charisma, leadership, they always attribute it to trickery, magic, manipulation. Yeah. So that's why they use in court words like coercion, control, manipulating. See, when it comes to black defendants. Now, they don't say that about Hugh Hefner. Right? When Hugh Hefner had orgies for same like 5 decades at the Playboy Mansion. It was infamous for sex parties and orgies. And us out here in LA, we've heard a lot of weird shit that didn't happen in that Playboy Mansion. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have celebrities from 5 decades running in and out of that damn Playboy Mansion, and you're not going to hear nothing crazy. They know it's a lot of shenanigans happen up in there, and a lot of the women have been complaining, but they brushed them under the rug. A lot of those girlfriends that Hugh Hefner had, yeah, a lot of them women were looking crazy and manipulated, but they never portrayed him as that. They let that man die peaceful with no smut on his name. Yeah? But Diddy, he's having freak off parties with.
Looking for a professional photographer for your next big event? Need video of your special day? Then look no further. For $100 an hour, have a professional photographer or videographer shoot your wedding, birthday party, quinceañera, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, anniversary party, or whatever your special occasion may be. Highlight your event with professional, crisp photos and video. Check out Charles Arness Photography on Instagram, as well as book us for your next event. Must live in the Southern California area.
Consensual adults, and now it's coercion. He used his Negro voodoo. Huh? But yeah, they've always portrayed that on us. If you look at in the courts in the 1800s, 1900s, they would use terms like hypnosis, occult influence, mind control to accuse, black people of manipulating white society. They've always done that. Even now, family, when we have the delineation movement and everybody's, pretty much on code with it, what do the feds send people to say? Oh, this is a cult. You niggas were manipulated. Oh, this is a cult. Right? Anything black people do that's constructive, they try to act like there's something supernatural. There's some type of manipulation, mind control involved.
They do that.
Whenever you hear people talk about cult, you understand that's Fed talk.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anytime you hear people talking about you FBA niggas are a cult, that's Fed talk.
Right.
Those are Fed words.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that is YouTube. This is Tariq Nasheed, Tariq Radio. That's his YouTube channel. That's some deep. He gets deep. I like to listen to his YouTube channel because he gets really deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he spitting game, man. You know, maybe that's what we need to. What they fear is what we need to be tapping into. Then we need to be tapping into voodoo and stuff. Maybe not voodoo. Maybe hoodoo. Like, if they, way I look at it, whenever they don't like it, that means it's what you need to be doing. You on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they don't like, you on the right track. Because when it's something that they like, it's usually some bullshit and you getting screwed. So if they don't like it, you on the right track. So I think we need to tap into that. That's why I got my sage here. Yeah, I said I got my sage. So when I want to go ahead and do my little hoodoo stuff, you know, I pick off me some of this sage like this. See how I did? See, I got my sage. I got my little hoodoo. Got my little hoodoo shell. You gotta hold it in the shell. And I'm gonna light it. And I'm gonna make me a hoodoo wish. Tap into my black ancestor shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm scaring white people right now. I'm doing my black hoodoo magic. See, move around some of this sage. See what I'm saying? Get the hoodoo spirits going. Call upon the ancestors. Make my YouTube channel the biggest YouTube channel in the world. Make my YouTube channel the biggest YouTube channel in the world. Woo. I'm gonna have 1 million followers by the end of the week. Ooh.
People gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because, especially black men, because we viewed as predators, and we always start in a hole. We gotta climb our way out.
Were they black?
And you be damn near destroyed before people want to accept the truth. That's what happened to OJ.
I mean, I know that about OJ. Nobody ever understood. I mean, like, the bitch was at his house with another dude.
Worse than that. You want to know? I found out some shit about the OJ case 2 days ago that I bet y'all don't even know.
Give it to me.
Do you know who Glenn Rogers is?
He lived.
Glenn Rogers, better known as the cross-country killer, was Nicole Brown Simpson's handyman.
What do you mean?
He was her handyman was a serial killer. He was convicted. He killed 4 blondes. He was convicted of killing 4 blondes. That was his thing. He was from Ohio. He was her handyman, which means he was at her house a couple times a week. If y'all look it up, if you think I'm bullshitting, his name is Glenn Rogers, known as the cross-country killer or the Casanova killer. He was convicted of killing 4 people 4 women in 1995, and during the time of the murders, and for years before that, he was her handyman.
And they never knew.
And they never brought that shit up in the media.
Well, they painted her as a victim in the media. Like, she wasn't known as the bust down she was.
She was a bust down for sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like her father was on
Hit the thumbs up button.
there crying and stuff. He never said I lost control of her. And because if she was on, I mean, like, we know why she was with OJ. OJ had paper at the time.
That one. That's the
His brother told the police, my brother murdered Nicole Brown Simpson. He admitted to me he murdered her, and he actually admitted to murdering her. But the narrative was already spun, and they were making so many billions of dollars selling this false narrative about OJ at the time that they weren't interested in anything but OJ slander. Then I watched some shit the other day. You gotta watch when you get to the crib, Corey. After he was found innocent, I don't know if y'all remember, OJ did a 3-hour documentary where he went over all the evidence in the case, himself, and walked you through it. Where they found it in the crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was weird to see him in this state because as a 41-year-old man now, I now see, all that nigga had was really his reputation. So even though he knew he didn't do it, he was still trying to salvage his reputation because he was, I would say he was naive enough to think that people wanted the truth. They didn't give a fuck about the truth. They just cared about the story. And it's just weird how we thought a not guilty verdict as black people, we thought that was enough. We really should have stood by that dude's side and really fought with him after that because they tried to ruin his life, they tried to ruin his kids' lives, and it's just fucked up because I was under the assumption that he was guilty for years. You know what I'm saying? But when you really research the case, it's fucked up. We watched the nigga get railroaded And he really didn't do this shit.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I watched that documentary. I think I'm gonna put the link in the description. I gotta find the name of it. Glenn Rogers was the Casanova as the leader. I guess we already said serial killer, but yeah, he's the Casanova guy, and the Casanova, freeway. I think he had a bunch of names, but yeah, that documentary, it was on ID channel, and it basically breaks down where he told his brother that he did do it. He was actually in the area around the same time that the situation happened with Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He was in the area. He was actually doing a little handiwork around the area. He was a drifter. He was drifting from place to place, and as he was drifting, going from place to place, he was meeting women, and he was getting rid of them. You see what I'm saying? And he happened to be in the same area as Nicole Brown Simpson. Now I don't know about them saying that if he did any handiwork for her, but he was the handy person in the area. He was the handyman that was doing work in the area for people. And he was he was a handsome looking cat, blonde hair, blue eye. So that's like the king of white men. The blonde hair, blue eyed white man is the king of all white male. That's pure white man there. So people will let him in, oh yeah, you can come into my home and fix my roof, and not realizing this dude is a freaking, the leader, professional leader, serial deleter. Because they just see, oh, he's not going to do anything. And the whole time, this man is so he might have did some work for Nicole. Realized she lived by herself, realized that she got money. Because in the documentary, he even told his brother that I met that football player's wife. This is maybe, I think maybe 2 months before she expired. And he said, I just met and I've been doing, I don't know whether he said he was doing work for her, but he said that he met her, and I guess he said he was going to bleed her for everything she has, like as far as like getting her money. So, but he had already, before he got to Nicole Brown Simpson, he had already, I think, deleted 3 women in California already, one in Ontario and one in, I think, near the area, like Encino. So he was in Southern California around the time that they, Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson they expired. So that's why I'm talking. I'm on YouTube, so I'm trying not to get demonetized. So that's why I'm trying to talk like that. But yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna see if I can find a link, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom of the description. Y'all can go and watch the documentary for you. I want y'all to watch it for yourself and let me know what y'all think. Check this out. One part in the documentary that they had, Nicole Brown Simpson had a pendant that she used to wear. And during that dude's trial, he actually wore the pendant on his suit that he took from the house. You see what I'm saying? And on top of this, the evidence is this. They said that it was a dog barking, right? But they were saying that I guess when the situation took place with the deletion of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, the dog didn't bark. The dogs didn't bark. And the reason why they said the dog didn't bark is because the dog, if you're doing work, if you are working on somebody's house and they have a dog, eventually the dog is going to get used to you. You see what I'm saying? So that's so the dog knew the person that was there that did this to both Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. That's why the dog didn't bark. So that weighs, because he was doing, if he's supposed to have been doing handiwork in the area and did work for her, then the dog got used to him. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't bark, and plus, check this out. The viciousness of the deletions of Nicole Brown Simpson, when they said her head was almost severed from her body. This dude, his deletion spree of women, that's how he would do them. It would be very savaged. it was very savage. He would delete women very savagely, same way that Nicole Brown Simpson passed away. So it's just too many coincidences. I think that dude Glenn Rogers did do it. I believe he did do it. Anyway, watch the documentary, man. Come back and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button. Well, if you already watched it, let me know what y'all think.